Cinema Group, and without Universal Pictures we wouldn't have tonight's screening as well. So a big round of applause for all them, please. So before we show you the film, we're just going to have a little bit of fun first. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please make some noise for Lisa Callan?
So hilarious.
Lisa, I'll hand you over the microphone. Back for Series 3?
Back for Series 3, Gordon. I am so excited. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out tonight. Many of you have been on to me on Instagram and Twitter just to say how much you enjoyed the show. And Season 3 is going to be back bigger, bolder, better, brassier than ever.
Oh, and we got some great guests lined up as well, one of which you're going to see in a minute because you did get to speak to Jamie Lee Curtis.
I did get to speak to Jamie Lee Curtis, and many people obviously saw her, you know, on The Late Late Show, and she is as irreverent and fun and charismatic and intense as one may imagine. And I know you're a huge horror fan, so you're really looking forward to seeing her performance in this tonight, as I'm sure many other people are as well.
Absolutely, because for those that don't know, this is ignoring all the sequels. So this is going to be like the proper number 2. I think that's the way they're looking at it. So it's meant to be scary, meant to be quite funny, but we also want to have a bit of fun with tonight's screening as well, because joining us is John Francis Leader, cognitive scientist at UCD, because John is fascinated with the allure of fear and why people are really attracted to being scared. So we're going to do a little experiment with tonight's screening. So John, can you tell me and Lisa a little bit more about what is going to happen to one of the cinema goers this evening?
I've no idea. That's the beauty of live science. We don't know. Well, Kevin has very kindly volunteered to be our guinea pig this evening, and but that is the fun of this, because when we're doing live science, we don't really know what to expect. Usually, when we're doing this stuff in the lab, we've got proper setup, we've got weeks to go over all the data. This is live, so it's fun. But what we're interested in is movies. Halloween are one of the rare opportunities we have to kind of deliberately face fear in modern culture. So this is an opportunity to kind of dip our toe into that and find out a little bit more.
Excellent stuff. So Lisa, do you want to have a little chat to Kevin, because he is our guinea pig?
Come on up.
A round of applause for Kevin. We were trying to round up someone to take part in this experiment, and it was no easy feat, I have to say.
Thanks, Gordon. Now, you are our guinea pig, as mentioned. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you know what you're going to be doing?
Just watching the movie.
Exactly. That's all you have to do. You have to sit there like everybody else, and I suppose the scarometer is going to be on. Isn't that right, John? Mm-hmm. So what is the thing about films that you enjoy the most, the scary films? What is it that really gets you?
I don't know. I love being scared. I'm going to a couple of the Halloween, the scare haunted houses where you walk around and get scared. We go every year. But I love Halloween movies, and I love the original. I'm a big fan, so I'm really excited to see this one. And I don't know, sitting beside John's probably going to be more scary for him, because I do jump quite a lot.
Like me, you're a scaredy cat.
Very scaredy cat, but love it.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to pass you back over to John, because John, you're going to be speaking to Kevin.
Yeah, so we add a bit of jeopardy to anything just by measuring it. It's a bit Clockwork Orange or something, because watching a horror movie like this alone is scary. That's the point. It's a horror movie. But when you have a live audience also watching you, watching the movie, and then you're hooked up to biofeedback equipment at the same time. So Kevin at the moment on his wrist is wearing an Empatica E4 device. Thank you, Lisa. And we use these in the lab because they are able to monitor a few different vitals at the same time. Heart rate, which we know is one of the classics that gets affected during horror. And the other one is a little bit more cryptic, which is electrodermal activity. So this is the electrical current on the skin. When the skin goes to sweat, the electrical current changes. So it's not possible to cheat some of these things. That's what's interesting about them. We can get a very, very live reading. Temperature, a few other measures too. So I'm going to be monitoring during the film how Kevin's doing. Hopefully he won't need any interventions. I am a qualified therapist, but hopefully that won't come into it at any point. And we'll see how the measures look, and I look forward to seeing how it pans out.
Okay, round of applause for the two guys.
And then what we'll do is, at the very end of the screening, we'll find out just how scared Kevin was. Thank you so much to Kevin and to John Francis Leader for tonight's experiment. And just before we play the film, as we mentioned, Lisa managed to speak to the one and only Jamie Lee Curtis when she was over in Dublin to promote the movie. Just before we play that interview, because the film is going to start straight after, one final thing on Miss Lee Curtis?
Well, I have to say, I thought she was fantastic. I'm a lifelong fan of Jamie Lee Curtis. You'll remember all her great films, but for me, I think a little bit of nugget of information she gave us about Jake Gyllenhaal, which I thought was really interesting, so hopefully that's in this clip.
Excellent stuff. Just to be, before we go, finally, Box Office Series 3 returns to Virgin Media 2 at 9 p.m. this Friday. You better watch it. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much. Enjoy the movie. Jamie Lee Curtis first.